MGM invited the leaders of the window industry to their plant in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Along with Stiles Machinery, they demonstrated the technology used to paint vinyl and fiberglass lineals in a variety of colors. In a few moments, you'll hear reactions to seeing this firsthand. Here's co-owner of MGM Industries, Abe Gaskins.
The way this thing works is this thing's under a vacuum that's generated by a regenerative blower. The regenerative blower you can't see, but it's over behind here. The regenerative blower, like I said, pulls a vacuum in here, and then on this cabinet right here, there's a pump, and there's a reservoir, and it'll hold about 10 gallons of paint. When you're ready to paint, the vacuum coater pumps the paint to the vacuum coater, and then it's sprayed onto the profile in a very coarse manner. With this being on a vacuum, there's a shroud here, and I've got another part here. This is either called a shroud or a mask or a template, and the part travels through this template in the chamber. When this does this, this area right here is exposed to the paint. So the paint goes here, sprayed onto here. This side, or these areas right here, are not exposed to the paint, and this is under atmospheric pressure. So when the part is in there, atmospheric pressure comes in here, and then the vacuum tries to pull the atmospheric pressure through this area, so you'll end up getting a a perfect line. So instead of having to mask the part with masking tape and doing a lot of labor, this thing is, once you're set up, there's no additional labor for masking purposes. And the other thing it does is it puts a perfect edge on it. The paint is in the chamber, it's on the part, and the part is exiting the chamber. As it exits the chamber, there's a gap here, and the gap provides for a method for the air to get in there in a stream. So the air becomes a high velocity stream. What that does is that pulls all the paint to a perfect finish. It's an automotive type finish. And that's pretty much it for the vacuum cover. It's very simple technology. It does require a pretty good paint to work. You can't just go down to Lowe's or Home Depot or Sherwin-Williams and buy a garden variety paint. The paint has to be formulated for this process. There's a lot of, believe it or not, there's a lot of technology that I don't understand. There's a lot of chemistry behind it so that this paint will flow right and do a good job. That's about it as far as the vacuum coater is concerned.
Co-owner of MGM Industries, Joe Gaskins, discusses windows with Norm Wilkie.
But this one will replace a lot of the old brown windows that we used to sell years ago.
Oh, yeah. And what we're going to be able to do with this product too, Norm, and I need to show you that. We've got this now where we cut it off at we cut this lip off at the extruder. We're going to stock this product without a pin. So if they want to just do a total replacement, bronze and white interior.
Pocket replacement.
Yeah. Now it's going to be this window, so it's not going to be a true 3 1/4 inch pocket, but it's going to be perfect for an aluminum replacement on a tear-out.
Now, having discussed the vacuum coater, I'd like to talk a little bit about the paint. This paint is specially formulated for PVC. It's specially formulated so that it adheres to the PVC and it has heat reflective pigments. PVC has a distortion temperature of 140 degrees. If the ambient temperature gets above 140 degrees, you're in trouble. Well, it never does get above 140 degrees. However, when you get sunlight directly on the plastic, it can get above 140 degrees. When that causes the vinyl to distort. So we have to have special formulations, special heat reflective formulations that will reflect the solar radiation. And this paint has that in the formulation. So this paint, believe it or not, will not have much more heat gain than the base white. So if you had this in bronze or even a black, you will have a paint that will reflect the solar radiation, and the heat gain on this plastic is not going to be much more than white. Now there's claims where it's actually the same as white. I think that's a little extreme, but it definitely does perform the heat reflective properties.
Stiles Machinery sales advisor, Jim Stubbe.
The advantage of the vacuum mat, a lot of people quite often ask why this system. I mentioned one of the key ones, of course, is everything is custom. So you let us know what you want to do when we plug all those types of pieces into play, make the machine for you.
Okay, we've talked about the vacuum coater itself, and now I want to talk about the process that happens after the vacuum coater. And it's quite simple. All you do is the part is conveyed continuously. It comes out of the vacuum coater, and it is conveyed down the conveyor, and it comes down to this point, and this point, it changes the direction of the profile. It's basically a rotisserie, like a chicken rotisserie, except we're rotating plastic parts. It's going to rotate the part over, and it's going to index it, and it's going to be ready to go into the oven. The oven is an infrared oven that has some technology that has some advantages for the plastic as well. It's a quick drying. From a production standpoint, it dries very quick. So by the time it exits the vacuum chamber, it's going to go into the oven within seconds. So we're not going to have any contamination of dust because it's happening so fast and so rapidly. Then it's cross-feeded over to the oven, and then the oven takes it and puts it into the chamber. It comes out of the chamber in 3 minutes. So from the very start to the finish, it's about 3 minutes. Now, when it goes into the infrared oven, the infrared will penetrate the paint and heat up the plastic. So between the interface of the plastic and paint, you've got more of an energy there. And so the plastic is excited, and the paint and the plastic have a higher energy state, and it helps with adhesion. So that's something that the average person that goes out there and just paints a window on the side of a house is not going to get as good adhesion as this process is going to get.
The equipment is impressive. It's very clean when it comes out. The drying system is great. If nothing else, I'd like to take the drying system home. Okay, because of course that's the same no matter how you clean or how you paint. So it's very good. Transfer system is excellent. It's not touched by hands, of course, which is very, very good. So I'm very impressed with the equipment, and yeah, I look forward to sitting with the various people and see what we can do for Westech Windows in Canada.
In the years I've been in the business, there's been a lot of questions about why can I not only get vinyl windows in white or tan, I'd like to get it in a different color. And so now I have an answer for them.
I think it's going to be a boon in the industry. I know it's been out before, but it's never been available to us. And the fact that a lot of people like colors, and it's always been a major drawback for the vinyl industries, I think it's going to be a real boon for MGM.
What you just saw is a precursor to what I think is going to change the industry, and that's painted vinyl windows.